to a critical space where so many people are homeless, right? So many people are threatened with homelessness. All of a sudden, everybody throw up their hands all at one time. Imagine in a few years, and I wanted to say this today because, like you get a feel for the time. This is time to say this because these people are dumb. They're not dumb, they're historical. All the historical people from the Romans to the British, they had, this is something else going to happen. We've been lucky all the time. They call it exceptionalism, right? The way they sound is everybody except us. Yeah, it happened to the British, but it ain't going to happen to us. And we are special. We're American. And they actually say that. They say we are exceptional. Millions now, I'm saying millions, of people in the street. And they're saying, it's okay. They're not doing nothing about it. They're not doing anything about it. And the rich are getting richer. And they worse than the white lady, Marie Antoinette, let them have cake. They starving to death, they getting put out of their house, and this joker got a few people on the space shot and they go out of space for a joyride. That's dumb. That's dumb. That is dumb. And all the people is watching it, right? That's what's happening today. That means that when will this be? When will this collapse be? First, the whistle gonna blow, and everybody they gonna pull back to their corners like everybody. So at first, the whites gonna be with the whites, blacks with the blacks, Latinos with the Latinos, and then this time, it's not gonna be like a prison riot. There's people in there, just like the homeless things. All the homeless people is homeless together. You notice there ain't no segregation? There's no Mexican section in the homeless. There's no white section. They're all there together, right? Huh? Some have jobs, light jobs, and they're homeless. But now, what have they done? They've increased the distance. See, rebellion starts to happen when you got a middle class, they stabilize a society. But every time there's a rebellion, that means it's not a big middle class to give the society stability. It's a very rich, it's a very poor class. The people in the middle class have slidden down to the poor class. And the rich class is on the ascendancy. Can you read the statistics? What they say about so-and-so now made $1 zillion doing this. Everybody else got on food stamps, and they done made $1 zillion. Right? Look, they forget about their own teaching. They forget about history, and that's what happens. Every time a big boy falls, it's because the guy just, they forgot, or they were exceptional. That happened to the British. It ain't going to happen to us. Well, we're Americans. Okay. Now, during this period, we have to try to be a stabilizing force, because all kind of things are going to happen. It's happening now in little ways, but it's going to really happen. For instance, them big old trucks going coast to coast. Suppose you hijack one. How much money is on that? How much food and coffee, the big stacked up? maybe $100,000, right? Just say maybe. So you think the people going to look at the Civil War, look at Jesse James and all them? What did they do? They were train robbers. They robbed trains during during the Civil War. When they got out, when they kept on robbing trains but tons of money on there. They got to transport it, robbing stagecoaches. That was a period in American history where everybody that had been a part of a certain war or something like that, which was mainly the Civil War during the cowboy days, they remind me of Mau Mau's in Africa. And they remind me, that's why you could easily see what happened in South Africa. During the rebellion, the people are all out in the bush together. Then the guys come into power. When I went to East Africa, the rebellion in Kenya and all that, the Mau Mau's, that was 15 years before, not a long time. Where did you find them at? They was highway robbers. Why? Because Jomo Kenyatta came to power, and to get the government in power, the people had took the oath, the Mau Mau oath. They wasn't the ones getting the power. In South Africa, during our time, right in our time, you could see it. The ANC, remember how popular it used to be? It's not popular anymore. Because the ANC, when I was there, they were standing around in barrels with holes in it, trying to stay warm. A few of them got big jobs. But the thousands that helped during the period of rebellion, they had no jobs for them. So they used to rob all the poor Indian, boy, they did them bad, I'm telling you. And the Indians, our friends who are Muslims, helped them get liberated. But I'm talking about 96, 97, 98. 98 was a bad year, 98, 99, not long ago. Shoot, if they saw a big cement block on the highway, they wouldn't stop. They'd try to get around it. Why? Because if you stop, there's some brothers right there with AK-47s, and they're going to rob you. The same brothers that you helped get liberation. I don't know if y'all heard my lectures, but I said Mandela then was talking about building 5 million homes. I said, they ain't going to do it. I think some of you might. I said, they won't do it. They ain't going to do it. You can't do it. Right? Right. Okay, so everybody heard that. That means they wasn't going to do it. Therefore, since they can't do that, we thought South Africa would be different than the other African countries because South Africa was so structured and organized. It was just like here. Your computer, your phones, all that, the same things here. It's as modern as here. Everything you can get here, you can push all the same buttons there and you get it in South Africa. Okay. So, we didn't think South Africa would go down as far as it is now. Because we thought it would catch itself and the people had a pretty good structure going and they didn't do it. They did just like all other African countries. They went down, down, down and kept going down. And what happens is you don't read the signs. America is not reading the signs of its own country. They're not reading any of the signs. That there is technically, from what I don't believe there's any way for them to pull out of it. I don't believe it. And I'm not going to plan for it. We're going to plan in preparation and work in preparation that America, we're going to do the best we can, but America is going to collapse. And as it collapses, we want to be a part of the reconstruction period. We don't need to do nothing to it. We don't, America been bad. No. I've been saying this for 20 years, and it's clear now. Somebody is going to have to be alive and active with discipline that is nonpartisan, right? That is on everybody's side. They're going to have a good name. They're going to have the trust of the people. Why? Because you can't leave it to nobody right now. Not the environmentalists. If they snatch power, great. The Negroes, what if they snatch power? Sharpton and them niggas. Even Messi might still be around. Messi, Jesse. Suppose them coons are still here, right? White folks, the remnants of those politicians, can you imagine what they're saying in Congress? Can you imagine the police that protected them, right? I want you to imagine America the way it is right now. The police and other parts of the police's family are middle class and below. Okay, when all this fitness started happening and they hijacking trucks out on the highway patrol is right there. Their relatives live right there where they patrol it, right? And when their relatives hijack, the police gonna be, okay, if such and such a truck come by, when they in there relaxing, just let us know. The police gonna be doing it. Why? Because what they do last week at the Congress, they blame everything on the police. Of course it's the police. Those same police shot a black woman a couple of years ago, had a baby in the back seat. Remember that?
Not only that, the same police helped the people who were protecting in Ohio. They helped, they congratulated the people who were protecting the citizens. So they already was linked up. They was congratulating.
It's confusion right now. It's confusion. Okay. Everybody go to their mutual corner or section. That's the races they do. You don't have to ask nobody nothing. You don't care who you are. Where's the niggas at? Oh, right over here. Okay, that's where you're headed. You're gonna know where they are. You don't have to, nobody have to give you a signal or stuff like that, shoot up a flare. You're gonna know where the niggas is at. And that's where you're gonna be. They're gonna know where the white folks are. Okay? But there's different peoples now. There'll be 2 or 3% of the Negroes that's gonna die for boss, okay? But not the majority, right? Okay? There'll be 2 or 3 white folks, but their relatives are starving to death. You know, Ma Barker, Bonnie Clyde, and them and all of them, those was heroes during the 30s. They was heroes. They was robbing banks. Who took their house? Who took their farm? The bank. Who kicked all these people out of their houses? The bank. Don't worry about it. Look, and this is not old Frank Roosevelt is not getting into power, and things are a lot farther gone than they was then. Right? They're not going to have a World War II to pull them out of it. And the United States has treated everybody bad. His troops, they go over there and get themselves almost killed. Or you come back with post-traumatic, well, just shoot them then. Or 22 Americans per day, soldiers, are committing suicide for no help. I had a relative that's a veteran. He called every now and then. Man, I got my veteran stuff. I say, you just lucky. I said, other people ain't got nothing. Right? They ain't get nothing because they ain't got enough to give it all of them. You know, okay. The point I'm making is this all culminates. This all comes together. And just like the prognostication 10 years ago about which way America was headed and all that, and which way the Islamic movement and overseas, they headed exactly